Hi, my name is Jaden Replogle, and I want to talk about one of my favorite activities that I don't get to participate much in these days. At least it feels like I don't get to, and that is sleep. I want to talk about why better sleep means a better life. Now, sleep is one of the only productive hacks that you can do with your eyes closed, so I invite everybody that's listening to be more productive and take more naps. Now, there was a training that was provided for nurses. It's the NIOSH, which just stands for Nurses on Shift Work and Long Work Hours. This came out in 2020, but it was a study and that showed that there are effects to your body that take place without sleep. That if you go 17 hours without sleep, you can have the same brain function as somebody who has the same blood alcohol level of 0.05%. 24 hours without sleep is 1% blood alcohol level. Now, in the state of Utah, that 0.05%, that 17 hours worth of sleep that you're lacking, it's the same as if someone got pulled over, they would get a DUI for a 0.05%. So that should make you really consider the next time you get behind a wheel and you're a little tired. So what I want to talk about a little bit today, and it affects us all. We all are tired. I work full time, especially right now with the nature of my business, working with taxes. The end of the year gets really busy. I'm in school full time. I've got a 2 year old. I've done a little bit of research in regards to how to better your sleep and what can be done. I want to share that with you today. My goal really here is to help you understand why sleep is so beneficial and how there's a little bit more in your power than you may be giving yourself credit for. Now, I'm really here to unveil what the problem is, what is happening that is leading us to get off track with our sleep, and then third is, what can be done. Sleep it's so detrimental to our bodies. The National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute published something in 2022 that stated that sleep deficiency is linked to so many different chronic illnesses such as heart disease, diabetes, kidney failure, stroke even. There are so many things that this can affect more than just your eyes getting a little bit heavy and maybe not being able to lift up as many heavy things as you can. Now, another study published on October 23rd, 2024 by Susan Lee stated that 30% of dementia risks are created if you just only get 5 to 6 hours of sleep. That the odds go up 30% of getting dementia. That's insane, or the risks of getting dementia. Harvard came out with a study in 2025 for Harvard Health publication saying that if you get 5 to 6 hours of sleep, that your risks of getting diabetes or pre-diabetic goes up by 5 to 6, or no, goes up by two times if you only get 5 to 6 hours of sleep. So all of these different things, not getting enough sleep can wreck your body more than just my eyes hurt and it's hard to focus. Now that we know how much it can hurt our bodies and if we don't get enough sleep, I want to focus on, what's preventing us from getting the right amount of sleep. Now, a question that I was asked a while ago from my spouse, which was kind of calling me out a little bit, was basically that we're a creature of our own habits. And she asked me, what are you doing? Are you resting or are you recharging? Now, there's a difference. I didn't think there was at first when it was explained to me. Often I would get stressed out for how much I'm working, how much I'm doing in school. I'd say, hey, I need to watch a movie. I want to watch an episode of Parks and Rec. I want to go hit a bucket of balls. All of those take a level of brain or muscle strength. I know golf isn't necessarily the most labor intensive sport, but nonetheless, it does take some movement. Now, the second question you have to ask yourself, are you being honest with yourself in regards to, do you need rest or do you need to recharge? And more often than not, I think we actually need rest and we select the recharging. We decide to go on our phone. We decide to, relax. And that kind of pivots, to another thing, which is that 9 out of 10 Americans spend almost the last hour of before going to bed, they spend some time on their phone. Now, studies show that the sun produces about 20 of the light, 25% of it is blue light. And that is a natural light that helps you wake up in the morning. Everybody jokes about the sun's out, guns out. We wake up, rooster crows, all of that stuff. Well, a phone, its light percentage, 30% of it is blue light. And so the problem is you're going to bed and your body knows it's tired. But then, you start looking at your phone and it starts producing that blue light. And now your brain is confused. It thinks maybe the sun is coming up. It thinks you're supposed to wake up. And your brain thinks it's morning. Your body thinks it's night. And that's just a recipe for disaster. And the next part that I want to talk about is it too late? The short answer is no. Of course, it's not too late. One of the cheesiest, most overused quote, but I would say is more applicable than ever, is that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Rachel Ziegler, who is a doctor, shared 5 different ways to get better sleep. One is to minimize light and sound. So I'm going to focus on that one for a second. The light is where I have this bad boy. It massages, so it also relaxes. But if you put it on, lights out, and it's a lot easier to fall asleep. But some of the other things is get comfortable, keep a routine, manage stress, and get out of bed. That's what I want to focus on. Just real quick is a lot of people will read a book, journal, do things like that in bed, or even maybe even meditate and go through some thought processes. All of those are great to maybe lower your brain activity, but maybe let's get out of bed, sit on the couch, do your meditation on the floor, read on the couch, something like that. We should leave our bed to a place of rest so that when we get on it, that in our bed, I should say, that our body knows it's a place to relax and calm down. Now, there's a doctor, his name is Farias M. Zukrat. I know I butchered that, but he talks about consistency in regards to sleep. He says, across many domains of life, consistency is considered beneficial, and sleep is no exception to that rule. Consistency is great. Just like a diet, you try to stick to it, but if on Wednesday you fail, don't say, oh, well, we'll start Monday again. Start tomorrow. Don't think I'll try to make this up by the weekend. So many studies show that that's not how it works. In conclusion, lack of sleep is so much more detrimental than just hurting your gut, hurting your head, hurting your eyes. It's hurting your kidneys. It's giving you potential dementia and all these different things. I hope that you guys have learned something and that you're not just gonna take a step back and realize that maybe you're not getting enough sleep, but think about what you can do to implement into your day. Should you meditate? Do you need to black out the lights? Do you need to put black tape on flashing lights in your room so that it's not keeping you awake up at night? But I invite you to see what might actually be in your control in regards to your sleep and set new goals. Now, with that being said, I invite you guys to have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow.